in a context of growing tensions? Thank you.
What would be my
your view on international relations in a difficult context that we are now?
I've been saying in all my meetings um, that it is pretty clear that China is proposing a particular view, a particular vision of the planet, right? And they are putting on the table the idea of the Belt and Road. And one of the reasons they are able to do that is because they have become a center of global production. And this is something I told the people yesterday in the external affairs office. But I don't see an alternative vision coming from our side. That vision requires a vision for production in a democratic environment. What the Chinese have basically shown is that it is possible to produce effectively in a coercive environment where you don't give people freedom, where you restrict their freedom, but you offer them prosperity without political freedom. And the challenge for us is, can we provide an alternative vision where we do production under democratic conditions with political and economic freedom? And I think there's a lot of cooperation that can happen between the United States, between Europe, and between us. And I think that's where a lot of our focus should go. How can we create an alternative to the Chinese production model that is a coercive production model? A competitive vision.
Hi, this is Malini from PTI. You've given a very dignified answer to G20 happening in India is a very good thing. And we have news that Mallikarjun Kharge has not been invited for the G20 gala dinner by the BJP. And that says a lot. And I would like you to comment on that, because you are holding a very good stand, supporting the G20 happening in India. And here we have a very contrary, very interesting.
No, what's contrary about it? I mean, they've decided not to invite the leader of the opposition. It tells you something. I mean, it tells you that they don't value the leader of 60% of India's population, and it's something that people should think about. Why they're feeling the need to do that, and what is the type of thinking that goes behind that?
I have a follow-up question as well. I was there in Paris to cover Mr. Modi's, Bastille Day parade event, and two things happened at that time, which is very controversial. There was a 17-year-old boy who was shot in France, and the French actually jailed about 1,000 people just so that the event would go peacefully. And at the same time,
I
the
didn't
Manipur
realize
issue
that.
happened, and the EU tried to raise that issue, but there was no conversation on that in the platform. Instead, there was a lot of retaliation from the Indian ministries regarding the same, that this should not be brought up. We were actually talking of freedom at that time in France, and I thought that that issue should have been brought up. But what do you think about that?
About
Have you spoken about it here when you
about what?
about the Manipur issue, the human rights issues that we're facing?
Yeah, I mean, our position on Manipur was very clear. I actually visited Manipur, and I think we are very much for democratic rights, harmony, peace between people. I mean, as Sam said, I walked 4,000 kilometers for that very purpose, and I think there is a sense in India that the democratic structures of our country, the institutional structures of our country are under attack, and they're under attack from the group of people who are running India. I don't think this point is missed by anybody. I think everybody who has even a little bit of an understanding of India knows this. But of course, there are other considerations. So when you're dealing with India these days, there are other considerations which are also important, as you would be well aware. The democratic fight and the fight for democracy in India is ours, and it's our responsibility, and we will take care of it, and we will make sure that the sort of onslaught on our institutions, on our freedom is stopped. The opposition will make sure it happens.
Yes, sir. Sir, my name is Yunusan. मैं आज तक के लिए काम करता हूँ. मैं अपनी भाषा में आपसे क्वेश्चन करूँगा. आप 6 रोज़ा दौरे पे आए हैं, तो उसका बुनियादी मकसद क्या, और आपकी कल बेल्जियम और यूरोपियन पार्लियामेंटेरियन से मुलाकात रही है, तो वो कैसे रही?
आप हिंदी में जवाब चाहते हैं या इंग्लिश में? You decide. You ask. Okay, I'll no, the aim of the visit is to meet our diaspora here, to engage with them, to get a sense of what they're dealing with, what they're going through. That's one aspect. The second aim is to meet members of the government here, MPs, other people, and to get a sense of how they are seeing India, how they're seeing the possible cooperation between India and Europe, how they view India, what they think India should be doing, and also giving them a bit of a sense of what we think our relationship should look like.